Welcome back to Hockman Fabrication and Speed, where budgets are spent, dreams are built. We're over budget. Caleb is currently sitting inside of Pat's 1G GSM build, trying to hash out where the staging brake's gonna go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, where should we put the staging brake? Let me see what you think you want us to do here. Should we put it on the inside by the leg area and get it nice and tight? That's where usually you see 1G DSMs. Or alternatively, shall we mount it on the other side, similar to the way that Black Zenith has it? I don't know, Caleb, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like for the little swift guy Pat is, this might be the most comfortable for him.
Caleb's vote, ladies and gentlemen, is for the driver's side. I don't know if I agree with that, but we're gonna have to leave it up to the owner himself to make these tough decisions. Back to you, Caleb.
Don't you scratch up the inside of this car, young man. I'll hurt you.
This car is worth more than any brick.
I'll just take it out of your paycheck.
No! God, please, no! No!
No Calebs were injured during this film. What else we got next to you, Caleb? Ooh, we already got a nitrous bottle, and to go with that, of course, a fire suppression setup. Very nice, very nice. Steering wheel, dash.
Talking to the customer about making a 3D printed steering wheel hook.
What's up, Lally? Lally's here to help play with the Trans Am some more. Pat's car is coming along really well. His seat in here, he's got his dash in here, his shifter mounted, brake lines, a fuel pump. We've had to trim out this motor mount bracket here in order to get this to fit, but that's pretty much standard for this type of a setup. Got some nice stainless lines on the firewall setup here. You look real comfortable in there, Caleb.
It is. It's really comfortable. Understand why you fall asleep when you're waiting in line.
There's a lot of elements that go into my sleep time in my race car. I'll tell you about that later. Trans Am finally breathed this week. I'm sure it's gotta be adjustment on the tuning. Right, and it's responding now, right? I think that ground certainly made it happier. Although we're still ironing out some issues with its behavior. We got it to fire up, but the RPM signal is lost, and it's likely due to potentially the sensor being bad. Although we did get an NTK sensor on the way because we've been advised from Holly to go that route. It can solve these type of issues and also prevent loss of RPM when doing high RPM runs. So once that arrives, we'll get that in and hopefully get this thing stabilized. Lally's checking over a couple of odds and ends and finishing up some wiring on this project. Like for instance, when this car is done, the factory hood has some LED lights that will light up for the boost. Have wiring pre-made so that those will function, and as he's getting up into higher boost levels, he'll be able to see that light up, and that's kind of a cool Night Rider feature of this thing. I've been ironing out quite a bit with this project, which is normal on a car like this. When you're building something custom of this nature, you're gonna have some little quirks and headaches to iron out, both on the mechanical and electrical side. And of course, once you get into tuning, you'll usually run into a couple things as well. We're at the stage now where we've ironed out the mechanical aspects of it and are just honing in on some of the remaining tuning aspects. So we're excited to see that hopefully on the dyno here next week. FRS is in the air. We have been working on building this custom trans support mount, which is giving him the 3-inch clearance he needs so we can run a full 3-inch exhaust. We've got a transition that comes off of his manifold that's going to go from 2-inch to 3-inch right here, and we're using a double slip joint, which is really nice and trick because there's such a tight clearance here. We need to have a connection point but not have any clearance issues with how tight the space is, because we're really working with like 1/4 of an inch on this side, and as we approach past this region of the transmission, we're trading off the same on this end. So creating space in order to run that, which is coming along nicely. And then on the G8, we're pretty much almost finished with it. The intercooler piping is close to being done. We have to integrate the mass airflow. Oops. He's gonna be running a blow-through MAF setup, full 4-inch tube to take care of making sure we get the full scale of the MAF. It's gonna be within at least 6 inches of straight so that it'll keep the readings manageable, I should say, without being erratic. Once that's done, weld on the steam port for the radiator, since this is an LS swap setup, and that'll pretty much be it. The RS6 is over here in the corner as well. We're doing custom mid pipes for that since it's on this aftermarket turbo kit. The way that Valtronic sells their titanium exhaust now is it has a stainless front section usually, but now they're just setting them up to be compatible with the factory 2 3/4 inch setup. So they now want you to use the factory pipes between the cat pipes and the titanium section that's on the vehicle now. But because the factory section here is 2 3/4, we don't want to restrict the system. We want full 3-inch. For that reason, we're building this custom set of mid pipes for the customer with some vibrant performance flex bellows. That would be number 2 vehicle that we're looking forward to having on the dyno here shortly. Currently on the dyno, however, I'm working on the Gallant. I just dragged Tom over here to help me put an intercooler pipe back on that I blew off while making some pulls. You heard Caleb talking about 3D printing and maybe making a bracket for the 1G. Well, I guess I should go ahead and let you guys in on the fact that we did recently acquire a 3D printer and a scanner, adding new services to the portfolio of offerings for our customers. Be able to now scan and digitize parts, components, the undersides of vehicles and rear sides of vehicles to develop, create jigs, and reproduce on a mass scale. And in addition to that, building our skill set with all the 3D printing capabilities and what it offers. From different types of filaments, being able to print in carbon fiber and metal. We're really looking forward to what this new and exciting adventure is going to look like. That is what I have for you guys today. Realizing now that that's not all that I have for you guys today. We have recently added that I almost forgot about, and as you can see, forgive our mess as I've been cleaning up, we acquired a sim racing rig, and we've set it up in our dining room. Dining room? Yes, we dine in here all the time. In our dyno room, while your vehicle is getting dynoed, if you're not engaging in that process or there's a little bit of downtime, say, you can enjoy doing some sim racing. Or after hours, you can come and enjoy doing some sim racing. Just trying to create an environment our friends, customers, family will want to be a part of. Lots of cool and exciting things going on since our last video. Those are the basic updates for you guys between then and now, and the things that you can look forward to in the near future. Building this synergy between myself and Josh Jarvis and what we're gonna be able to provide all of you. So as we do that, we'll get more personalized and more detailed with what we're getting into on these projects. But in the short term, I wanna make a conscious effort to at least communicate with what's going on, keep you guys in the loop. So please feel free to comment below, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do to help not only us, but yourselves in getting more content coming your way and the kind of content that you're looking for. So Josh, if this all sounds stupid, feel free to just cut it out because